In today's video, what to do if your show is postponed or canceled. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Rebella from ProPhysique.com. In today's video, we're gonna talk exactly about what to do if your show is postponed or canceled under these current conditions. There is just so much uncertainty. So I wanna talk a little bit about what we can expect, what's going on in other countries in the world that perhaps we can look at and kind of get a timeline for when things may return to normal. Also tomorrow, I'm having Dr. Alonso Osorio, a medical doctor, come to my house, and we're gonna do a video about the discussion around how to handle this process while these things are going on, some expectations. So that'll be a great video, and we'll get some real medical advice. He is an ER doctor, so he's seeing a lot of people coming into his ER right now. And my question, it actually comes from my Instagram, but it's a question many of you have, and it just goes like this. If your show gets postponed, I think there's a ton of us who are scared that everything we've been working for is going to get pushed back. What to do if your next show isn't until 6 weeks or longer? And this is a very, very real question because I already have clients whose shows have been canceled. And there's one thing you have to think about, and that is that bodybuilding is a luxury sport, meaning we have to have a lot of things in a great place to compete in a bodybuilding show, okay? Not only does the promoter have to front a lot of money for these venues, but we have to be able to take time out of our lives. And usually that means money's in a good situation, our lives are in a good situation. So right now, what's happening is a lot of people are having to potentially work a little bit less. Maybe they're gonna be a little bit less busy, depending on the industry you're in. So our luxuries might have to be put on hold. So I'm gonna give you guys my advice on what I'm telling my clients and even what I would do in this situation. If your show is in the next, 3, 4, 6 weeks, there's a very real chance it's going to be postponed or canceled. So if those shows were the only ones you wanted to do, there's potential that you may not be able to compete this season. We still don't know much more beyond that. And what I've been trying to look at is the situation in China. As of this week, they've begun returning to normal activities. They've been able to go back out, restaurants, businesses are opening back up. They're still feeling out the situation, but they were a little bit ahead of us on this curve. So that's really the only place that I've felt that I could go, okay, what's going on there? And again, and it has to be the news media that I have to trust. That's what's going on, the information we receive. But based on that, I have an expectation that the way we've responded, it feels like, the communities, the people, the government has responded pretty rapidly in the United States. And again, I could be wrong, just my opinion. And perhaps I'm just an optimist, but I'm hoping that within a few weeks, another month or so, we're able to get some semblance of back into normal approach. Now, that doesn't mean that in another month or so, things are going to return to normal because, as I said, there's going to be impact felt beyond this. So I think we're going to really find out who competes in bodybuilding shows for the love of it, who goes through this process for the love of it. But there's other ways to enjoy the process of dieting down other than getting on stage. So for those of my clients that are unable to do shows but want to do later shows, what I've been doing is two things. Either if we're on schedule or ahead of schedule, we run a test peak week. So just because there's no show doesn't mean we can't go through the process as if there is a show and see how we would look on that day, treat that as a show, and then move forward to the next show date that we're expected to happen. The other option is we go into, let's say, a holding pattern where we turn it into a extended diet break. We bring the calories up to maintenance, bring the cardio down to maintenance, maintain a nice body composition until such time as some shows are announced. Everyone that does that is going to be ahead of the curve because the people that haven't even started prep yet are starting to wonder, well, are their shows going to happen? So the people that are better prepared right now, that are putting themselves in a position to be successful long-term, potentially could end up in a better situation because when the shows are back or the shows are not canceled, as some people think, well, the people that stayed on track are going to be in a better position. So it's all in how you handle that. And it's all very much about where you live and what the expectations are for where you live because some places are having much worse kind of repercussions. Some cities are actually like shutting down restaurants. Here in Florida, that hasn't happened. Okay, they haven't shut down restaurants. The grocery stores are all still open. It feels kind of like normal being out the last couple days. It's just very quiet. And you know, if the situation with spring break, so my kids are on spring break for the next 2 weeks, I feel like this might be an opportunity for people to kind of just pull back a little bit on normal life, and perhaps we can get ahead of this situation. Again, I'm going to have Dr. Osorio on tomorrow's video, and we're going to talk exactly about what that looks like from the perspective of someone that works in an emergency room who's been seeing patients. And this news is probably going to be changing daily. So my only fear would be that people overreact and say, well, this situation is terrible, I'm pulling the plug. Because what might happen, and by pull the plug, I mean you just stop dieting, you just go off your diet, you start treating yourself poorly, overeating, whatever it might look like for you. If you do that, you may regret it, because we don't have all the information yet. There was a little bit of a panic there for a short time, with people buying apparently toilet paper in large quantities. And even I've had some clients tell me they've gone to the store to get some food in Bed Able. But I think once those initial kind of supplies are restocked, we should perhaps return to normal. Again, this is my speculation. And then, you know, as it's been explained to me a little bit, this might just turn into like a seasonal issue where we have this as a part of the flu culture, right? But a lot still to be determined. Okay, I don't want to downplay what's going on, but I also don't want to buy into the pandemonium and panic and go out and buy 4 pallets of toilet paper for my house. Okay, I'd like to just assume that we're all going to be rational, we're all going to pay attention, we're all going to do our part, meaning if you're having some symptoms, stay away from other people. Make sure you're cleaning your hands, make sure that, you know, you're doing the things that are supposed to be done, but also continuing to do the things that you enjoy and are capable of doing if you're capable of doing them. Okay, so yeah, that would be my advice, is pay attention to what's going on, keep up with the news, but keep working towards your goals. You know, this is a global issue, and anytime you get the entire globe involved, it kind of galvanizes things. I think, you know, what I saw the other day, and I'm not getting into politics at all. I don't really like politics, but when I saw the president had, you know, the CEO of Target, the CEO of CVS, the CEO of some of these bigger companies that are capable of working together to create solutions, you know, Quest Diagnostics, that's really where we shine as a people. So I expect the best possible outcome for the United States, because we're starting to work together on this goal. And we also have others that we can reach out to, other countries that have seen the worst of it that we can learn from. So, you know, I would love to do a video on fat loss, on muscle building, on something specific, but it feels like under this climate, this is probably the most helpful thing I can do. And like I said, tomorrow I'm going to have Dr. Alonso Osorio on here. And so we can talk specifically with a medical professional, someone who's literally in that first wall of defense, about what's going on, what are some very real expectations, and, you know, we'll talk about it then. But that would be my suggestion. And I'm literally working through it with each different client. You know, some people just starting prep, some people are at the end of prep and are supposed to be doing shows that have been canceled. So, you know, my suggestion is we do what's right for each individual. Every situation is different, and so we'll have to manage it that way. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you're having the best day possible, and let's get through this. Leave some comments below if you have some questions for Dr. Osorio below. Thank you, guys.